With your phone calls. I said I'd get to this hour, but I'll have to cover it tomorrow. Obama has announced a raft of new anti-gun garbage, and he's launching it against the American people, and they're going to blame the violence in Mexico on our guns. And it turns out, red-handed, for 2 years, they've been shipping guns into Mexico, the ATF has, to then track them back and claim we're causing it. That's CBS News. That's the Examiner, and it is an Obama government false flag against the Second Amendment. And a lot of folks are calling for the impeachment of Obama, the Attorney General, and Janet Napolitano. These are hardcore criminals. They set this up to blame our Second Amendment. They are terrorists.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Hello, friends. This is Alex Jones. You've heard me talk about Cal-Ben 5-star soaps for years. This is an American-made product of the highest quality and compares to nothing you will find in stores. You can buy factory direct, shipped via UPS right to your door. Check them out on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091. Take my word for it. Once you've used pure soap, you won't buy anything else. Since 1947, Cal-Ben Soap Company has been showing consumers that soap can be tough on dirt and gentle on the environment. Buy American and stay clean, as well as support InfoWars. Visit 5starsoap.com today or call 1-800-340-7091. Well, Marty, what do you have to say?
As founder and owner for over 63 years, satisfaction is guaranteed or double your dirt back. Call us at 1-800-340-7091 for a free catalog or visit our website, 5starsoap.com. Thank you.
This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now, new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
Alex has told you that the Mideast uprisings over food prices and shortages caused by fuel costs are spreading worldwide. We're seeing the impact right here in the United States. Ethanol that was supposed to reduce petroleum use and fuel prices hit a 30-month high in February, and pump prices are expected to reach $5 a gallon. Because of shipping costs, food is being priced out of the reach of millions of Americans with an expected 35% jump in the next 60 days. Move quickly while you can still afford it, and eFoods Direct will pay your shipping costs for you. For the best tasting, long-term storable food, you pay nothing for shipping and can put every dollar into food at today's prices. eFoods Direct, food so delicious you can serve it tonight or save it for the future. Take advantage of free shipping by calling 800-409-5633. On the web, efoodsdirect.com/Alex, 800-409-5633, or efoodsdirect.com/Alex.
I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo in so much space. And when you're out there without care, yeah, I was out of touch. But it wasn't because I didn't know enough. I just knew too much.
We are back live. I'll be doing Overdrive for your phone calls. Gord, Gerald, Paul, Will, Donna. We've got a guest in studio who was already scheduled before this whole crisis began, but it ties into radiation. TSA to resist airport body scanners for radiation. And in the report, for a year, they wouldn't give Homeland Security wouldn't give Congress, under orders, that's the government, the elected government, wouldn't give them the information on their internal tests. They're supposed to do monthly radiology tests. Turns out they weren't doing it. Then when they did, they found 10 times the safe levels. Because, I mean, why do the companies care? If you look at the photos from these things, you can see the bones in the fingers. That's radiation. That's shooting through. And they've had top scientists in the New York Times saying it's 20 to 50 times, depending on the system, the radiation. That's being borne out here. And Owen J.J. Stone made national news when we put a little video together from his radio show, or he was guesting on Leo Laporte's a technology show. It's very popular, heard by millions, and dealing with the hands down the pants. Now, this had happened to my employees. This had happened to people all over the news back last fall and winter, and the media was still denying it until it happened to more and more reporters and more people, and it was Owen J.J. Stone, known as the OhDoctah. It was his report that finally broke it out into the mainstream media, and he's here for South by Southwest in Austin. And, of course, Owen J.J. Stone, also known as OhDoctah, hosts his own show, OhDoctah.com, and frequently makes appearances on This Week in Tech with Cranky Geeks, Scam School, NSFW, and Beer Diplomacy. He's also the founder of Inquiring Mindz Media, and he's Twitter is at OhDoctah. D-O-C-T-A-H, and we'll follow him at twitter.com/Real Alex Jones. We'll get that done right now. In fact, next hour, I will take your questions or your statements, one-line statements on the situation, and do you, now they admit at least reactor 2 has been, the containment facility blew away, and the internal seals have been broken. The Mark 1 also blew up yesterday. And they're saying it could be exposed. That's a plutonium-uranium reactor, very dangerous, 40 years old, 40-year design, 39-year-old facility, 6 plants there. 4 of them have had fires or explosions. This is getting worse by the minute. People are starting to flee Tokyo with the radiation cloud making its way down there. Here's AP. Radiation level soars after Japan nuke plant fire. But then it's just radiation, radiation, radiation. The TSA now is rolling out at checkpoints at train stations, bus stations. They have high-powered radiation systems on the news with the National Guard and their TSA. 2,000 arrests, Fox News reported in 1 year in upstate New York, searching citizens with newscast of them driving under high-powered X-ray scanners that shoot through the metal of the car. I mean, that makes a chest X-ray look like a joke. So it's not just a Fourth Amendment violator. It just shows how government's gone crazy. And OhDoctah, what redescribe? Well, first off, what's your take on the whole disaster in Japan and the cover-up that's now been exposed and where this is going? And then we'll go back into your story at the hands of the TSA and what's unfolded since then.
So 2 things. First of all, thank you for having me on the show. Secondly, the biggest thing is Japan is the 3rd richest nation in the world, and all this money we're about to throw at them, and banks are going to, steal the money, hide the money, not send the money. Could I get some of that off the deficit that we owe them? The $565 billion we owe them. I mean, we're about to throw a lot of money at this problem, and a lot of that money is going to disappear. I would like someone to be keeping an eye on it so that we're not just throwing money away or throwing money at the problem. Secondly, hopefully this makes the government do something about nuclear plants that are clean and healthy and safe. There's nothing safe with an earthquake. So all the things I've heard for my whole lifetime of solar power, we're going to do all these things that we're going to do. Now it's time to start harnessing the sun, maybe, Mr. Obama. I mean, you keep telling me these are jobs of the future. If a solar farm gets rocked by an earthquake, I don't have to worry about this radiation. I don't have to worry about the millions and millions of people that are going to die in the middle of the country or wherever these nuclear plants are. So there's a lot to be going on with this situation that people need to take a look at. We can sustain with green energy, but we talk about it, we don't do it. So sad but true, something like this has to happen to make people realize that it's a dangerous world we live in, and we can't just keep eating what people are feeding us because you'll end up sick.
Well, I'm all for real green energy. The problem is everything the government rolls out are sweetheart deals with big corporations for mega farms that then don't transmit it long distances well. The answer is tax incentives to have everybody go solar themselves. That's what I'm doing without the government. We need those incentives to be total, no tax on that. And I'll guarantee you there'll be solar panels in every house and go decentralized, but the big boys don't like that.
Case in point, my friend just got solar panels put on his home, paid for it himself. They won't come out to inspect it, to connect it. He's not allowed to plug it in and start using it. 6 months he's been waiting for an inspector to come out. after he's paid and had him installed. Why? Because they don't want him saying...
But you get it immediately if you put them in and tie it into the grid.
Exactly. Exactly. They don't want you owning your own power. They don't want you saving your own money after you spent your hard-earned money on solar power. So it's all a scam and a system that, what you just said, the big boys want to keep the money to themselves. So, again, a problem like this, a crisis like this, it puts a huge spotlight on the games that are played with green energy and everyone having green energy.
Let's go back to that split shot. That looks good, guys. Wow, a great crew in there. Well, it's so good to have you here because I am a fan of the shows you do. I am a fan of This Week in Tech and you know, everything you're doing. But this whole TSA thing does get down to radiation again. And before 1991, they wouldn't let the troops use DU because in all their studies, they knew it would not only kill the enemy, but kill them. It has a 4.5 billion year half-life and is very radioactive and poisonous. Now they just use it. Now they've got the scanners going on the streets much more powerful. Australia is going to put full-body chest X-rays in now. I mean, since when did government and corporations wave a magic wand and suspend the laws of physics and radiology and you know, break down what happened to you with the TSA?
Well, we didn't have the body scanner situation where I was at because they didn't have those there.
They just the hands down the pants.
They wanted to do the hands down the pants, and they wanted to take me in a private room to do it. They highly encouraged the private room. I refused the private room.
Probably because they wanted to rob your bags, because they've been caught.
Or whatever they wanted to do. I just know that criminals do things in the dark. You know, they don't do things in the middle of the day.
Yeah, I don't want to be behind closed doors with these goons.
Exactly, because anything can happen, and you hear stories, and everything's always...
A lot of people get killed. Like that woman in Phoenix, they beat her to death and said she choked herself on her own handcuffs that were behind her back.
Yeah, well, I don't want anything like that happening to me. Regardless of what people say, oh, skeptical, you can't believe it. All I know is that there's no reason for them to take me in a private room if there's nothing wrong with what they're going to do. If your check is so thorough, so legal, so righteous, then stand out here and do it in front of everyone else. There's no reason to take me in a private room. I don't have guns. I don't have drugs. I don't have any kind of weaponry on me. I don't even travel with liquids. So there's no reason to, I need to go through my bag in private. No reason.
So tell us where this airport was and what they did.
This was the Oakland airport. And basically, I wore the same clothes a week before flying through San Francisco. No check. I just walked through, didn't beep. Have a nice day, Mr. Stone. The next week, they implemented their new rules with the same exact outfit, and they had to put their hands in my pants, and they do touch your junk, as it were. As funny as it sounds for people to say, but they do.
No, they do that to Ventura.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why he's suing them.
Yeah, I mean, people say, oh, they don't do that. I'm like, they do that. It's uncomfortable.
No, their manual says actually put pressure. They check it to see what it is. Oh, let me.
I didn't get grabbed, but they were pushing on my stuff in the front and the back.
I can't handle it.
Yeah. So
that's what Ventura said, that he really couldn't stand, well, in his word, and children listening, but it is a medical term. He said they went and pressed into his, quote, anus. I mean, literally, they stick their hand, but I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's worse. I mean, I would go crazy. I mean,
yeah, it really makes you freak out. And the guy was very apologetic, and I'm like, if this was your job and you were okay with this job, how could you just keep saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry? Why are you doing this? One, because maybe he doesn't...
You couldn't pay me $1 million to stick my hand in people's crack and grab their genitals. I mean, give me a break.
And they're getting paid nothing to do it, which is the odd part. I mean, especially with the people that are checking children. My child has not flown. She's 3. She won't fly until she's 4 or 5.
Well, you know, this all started when Michelle here in the office with her 8-year-old and her 1.5-year-old, they were having men grabbing them.
Who wants to touch children? Who wants to touch
a man touching little girls?
Who wants to touch a child? It's embarrassing. It's disgusting, and that alone is the thing that freaks me out the most. If they wanted to search my child, I'd walk back out the airport. If my child goes through that,
but now they're saying if you try to leave, they then arrest you. It's like I'm going to molest, you know, and we're going to do this, and you're going to put up with it.
I'm either going to be arrested or killed because nobody's touching my child.
So they say we're going to do this to you.
Yeah. And it's the thing, a kid doesn't have that moral compass. And
well, it's now causing problems because kids are saying, I thought it's wrong, Mommy. I thought it's wrong, Daddy.
Exactly. You tell your kids, don't let strangers touch you or take you anywhere strange. Don't go with strangers. And if they said, I want to take your child into a room.
And now we see the images of like 4-year-old kids having their shirts taken off.
That was disgusting. Again, it wouldn't happen to me. I don't know what kind of parents they are, but I saw the videotape where they made the little boy pull his shirt up. Okay.
This is prisoner training. This is to break our will. What do you think of the public announcements that TSA is going to be all over the streets? So you pull up to a checkpoint, and they're out there, and they're going to make you drive under radiators.
I'm just waiting for Egypt and America. I'm waiting for people to start rioting and burning things down.